Hey boys and girls, it's Miss D here, and today we are going to create a food chain diagram. We have been learning that a food chain shows how energy is transferred from one organism to another. So the supplies that you're going to need is you're going to need this page right here. And this is page 25 in your learning packet. You can go ahead and pull that off if you need to, just to make cutting a little bit easier. You need this page, you need a pair of scissors, you're going to need some glue, either a glue bottle or a glue stick, whichever one you have. And you are also going to need a paper plate. And if you don't have a paper plate, that is okay, because you can also use a piece of paper for your diagram. So the very first thing you guys are going to do is you're going to take that paper from your learning packet and you're going to cut out all 5 pictures here. Okay, go ahead and take the time to do that. If you need more time, you can pause the video and then restart it or start it back up whenever you are ready. After you have all of those cut out, we are going to go ahead and take our very first picture, the sun. We know that a food chain starts from the sun because it's going to help some of our living organisms produce their own food. So we're going to go ahead and glue the sun at the top of our paper plate right here. Okay, go ahead and glue it right there as well. And I'm going to go ahead and glue mine. And again, if you need to pause the video at any point to catch up, you are more than welcome to. I totally suggest that. Okay, so I'm going to glue my sun at the top right here. Just a little bit of glue will do. And I'm going to try to glue it kind of as much closer to the edge as possible. Alright, just like this. Okay, I'm going to maybe even scoot it up a little bit. There we go. Alright, so now I have my picture of the sun. We know that one of the living organisms that need the sun to survive are plants. Plants are producers, which means that they are able to make their own food. They produce their own food. So now we are going to glue our cactus onto this part of the diagram. Now if you have just a piece of paper, it's going to look pretty much the same. Just pretend, or you could even cut the paper out into a circle if you'd wish. But it's going to look pretty much the same, in the same area. We're going to put the plants right there, okay? Go ahead and glue that on there. Okay, I have mine glued. I'm leaving some space in between because we're going to draw arrows to show how the energy is transferred. Okay, so we have the sun energy, and the sun is reflecting its beautiful sunshine onto the plants, and the plants are creating its own food. This is called photosynthesis. That's a super big word. So then after the plants produce their own food, they're able to grow, and now somebody or another living organism comes by and eats the plant. And that organism is going to be the lizard. The lizard loves to eat. If you look really closely on the cactus, there's these little, I guess, bulbs. They love that part. That's like the floral part of the plant. And so we're going to glue our lizard kind of right there. A little bit, not necessarily in the middle, because if we do that, it's going to take up too much room, but we're going to scooch it just a little bit over right there, and I still have enough room to draw my arrows. So I'm going to go ahead and glue that on there, and once again, you can always pause this video if you need more time, okay? Alright, so now I'm making sure that my lizard is glued on there. I glued kind of like the corner part. You notice that it's hanging off a little bit, and that's totally fine. Alright, so now my lizard is glued on there. Next, we have another organism that eats the lizard. Can you guess which one it is? It's the snake. So the snake will eat the lizard. So notice that we started from the sun, and the sun has energy, right? And now the plants have energy because they produce their own food, right? And now, since that lizard ate the cactus, the lizard now has energy. And now this snake that we're about to glue on is going to have energy too, because he has eaten the lizard, who has eaten the cactus, who has produced its own food from the sun. So now all that energy is being transferred into another living organism. Alright, so now I have my diagram. And last but not least, we're going to go ahead and glue that hawk right on here, just like so. Okay, go ahead and glue that last part of the hawk. And when you are finished, your diagram should look very similar to mine, where it kind of goes all in a circle, because it all kind of starts over. Alright, here we go. So this is what your diagram should look like. We are now going to go ahead, and you can either use a crayon, a pencil, or a marker to do this next step, okay? I'm going to go ahead and grab my marker. Oh, that was a loud desk, huh? I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to grab my marker out of my pencil box. And we're going to draw the arrows to show how this food web or food chain transfers the energy, okay? Let's go ahead and draw our first arrow. We're going to draw the arrow from the sun to the cactus. Okay? It's going to look something like this. Do you see that? Drew the arrow to the sun to the cactus. And then we're going to do it all the way around. So let's go ahead and draw the arrows in between. And your arrows should be in between your pictures. That way you can see where the energy is being transferred to. And then I want you to pause your arrow when it gets to the hawk, because then we're actually going to draw an arrow from the hawk to the plants. So one thing that we should know about is that when this animal dies, it actually decomposes, which means it breaks down back into the ground. It won't stay like a hawk forever. It'll eventually wear away and break down. Typically, mushrooms are great decomposers. Some of you guys know earthworms. They can also decompose a few things. Bugs, they could do that as well. And it breaks down these animals, and guess what? The energy from the hawk is now nutrients for the plant. Okay? So since they're down on the ground, it now becomes nutrients for the plant. So I'm going to draw a really long arrow to the cactus, just like this. And now we have our food chain web, or food chain diagram. A web is much more complicated. We can go ahead and title this Food Chain. You might need an adult to help you sound these words or these letters out. But you can write food chain right there. And there you have it. You have your food chain diagram. Hope you guys have fun with this one.